Hello, I am Sagi. We are in Shoham, and today I'm going to.
Hello, I am Sagi from Shoham, and today I will be interviewing some Israelis on their political views, the protest, and the new government. I have prepared a set of questions which I will be asking them. This production was produced by Michaelis Productions. Stay tuned as we move on to our first interview.
Stay tuned. I will see you in the first interview.
So I'm here in Israel with Dean, a 20-year-old.
20 years old. I'm here
with Oren, 56 years old, Israeli.
Israeli.
What do you think about the new government, which is said to be the most right-wing government ever in Israel? What do you think about that? What do you think of it?
I think we should give them time, because despite their political views, at the end of the day, it's the actions, not the views or the reactions that count.
I don't think it's as right-wing as ever before. I believe there have been extreme governments, and I have no way to judge until they do something really significant.
I suspect there has never been such a right-wing party in our elections. I believe they will gradually become softer, and I think it will end up good in the end.
It's actually a situation that shows us where we will end up eventually if we go to the extreme. I think it's actually good what's happening now, because people might wake up when people choose extreme right and it goes to the extreme. When it goes to the extreme, people might wake up and realize that the middle is needed, that compromise is needed, that parts of the unity of left and right are needed together. And I think the truth is, I think it's somehow good that this happened, because maybe it will eventually lead to the forces being united, to the need for togetherness and a middle group.
How do you feel about being in Israel? How do you feel about living in Israel in general?
How does it feel to live in Israel?
I think it's great to live in Israel. There are a lot of things here, and I feel like the state takes care of its residents, so there's no reason for us to feel uncomfortable living here.
I think it's a far-right government. I think it would have been better to have a centrist government again, but I think it happened intentionally. They came to tell us to start being together, to enter into cooperations. Don't be so extreme. Let's see what happens if you are. What are they showing us? They're showing us black against white. They're showing us the background compared to what is needed. Just because there's a far-right government, they want to tell us how it shouldn't be. Actually, there's a kind of sign from above not to be so extreme anymore. Start seeing the other side. Start entering into cooperations. Start seeing and doing things from multiple perspectives. Today, the Arabs are also showing us that there's a lot of violence and a lot of war. And here there's even a war going on between Russia and Ukraine, where extremism also plays a big role. And they're showing us that it can happen here too. The best lies in the middle.
באוקראינה, שגם שם יש קיצוניות ויש מלחמה, ומראים לנו שגם פה זה יכול להיות. כי בעצם חיזקו את הדתיים, ויש את הערבים, וזה שני קצוות. רוצים להגיד לנו, הכי טוב זה באמצע.
Feeling safe, living my life, I feel like I have the freedom here to do anything and get involved in any area I want. All in all, I love my life here in Israel.
I feel generally comfortable, love the country. Even though the parties I like didn't win the elections, overall I'm not worried. I think it will be good.
Itamar Ben-Gvir, the Minister of National Security, has been accused of inciting racism. Do you believe that he deserves the position for which he has been nominated?
No.
Do you think he deserves his position in the government?
No, I don't think a public candidate should be accused of something so serious. If it's not ideal for a public servant to be accused, I don't think he deserves it.
Words are powerful, they can have a great impact, so it's not acceptable to just handle them lightly. Just like when Rabin was murdered. It was incitement, okay?
He is a very pragmatic guy. He will slowly learn the job, and he will realize that what he talked about earlier is not realistic.
I think every time someone incites, they should just stigmatize him, and then he won't be able to serve in a public position. But once again, it's the same thing, it's extremism. They show you that extremists here are in control. Extremists are allowed to govern, white men are allowed to govern, religious people are allowed to govern, and on the other side there is a violence of the Arabs. They want to tell us that this cannot be. We need to do something calmer, something more peaceful, something where extremism won't win. They show us exactly what it looks like, so what we shouldn't do. They show us exactly what extremism looks like. In my opinion, this is something that God wants to show us from above. That they are religious, that they believe in God again is something existential. God wants us to be one. God is love. Let us be one. He shows us the negative sides, the violence and extremism, so that we don't fall into the same mistakes. We should unite and become one.
Some say that Israel has the most right-wing government it has ever had. Do you think this fact will help the conflict with the Arab neighboring countries?
I think that's a more complicated question. No, there's no way to know if the fact that the government is right-wing will help this debate. But time will tell.
Look, Bibi is a liar, so he can tell the government and then decide if the Arab country will continue like this. Then they will find out that he has firmly decided on A, although he promised B. With Bibi, anything is possible. It won't hinder or help as long as it's Bibi, because Bibi does what he wants.
Do you believe that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu can put an end to the political chaos in Israel?
No, Bibi Netanyahu wants political chaos. It benefits him. Bibi Netanyahu should actually be in jail, and now that there is political chaos, it actually serves him, because he didn't go to jail. So he keeps pulling, and from his side there will be chaos, and he will sit on the chair. That's what Bibi wants, to sit on the chair. His wife Sarah also wants to stay in the Prime Minister's house. Political chaos really serves him.
No, he hasn't done it yet. There is a situation where he can handle things with the right resources and the right things, but right now, I don't know.
He can, but I don't think he wants to, because what he's ultimately interested in is his trial. And as long as there's chaos and politicians want to determine the composition of the judges, it will help him to stay in power without permission. But I don't think he will act to stop the chaos. As long as he sits in the chair for 4 years, he doesn't care.
The new Justice Minister, Yariv Levin, plans for a majority in Parliament to pass a law even if it violates the basic law of the Supreme Court. Levin wants to change the composition of the panel from which judges are judged. Do you think this endangers democracy?
I assume that if he overturns a law that is the basis of democracy, he undermines democracy a bit.
Do you consider this to be a violation of democracy?
Yes. Definitely yes. There should be an impartial and inviolable justice system, and it is impossible to enact laws that violate existing laws and endanger democracy. Of course, this exposes democracy to great risk.
Yes, of course. Because today, for example, a criminal person can transfer bribes to 500,000 voters, enter the Knesset, and be elected as a minister, and no one can do anything about it. Therefore, politicians often look for people who can help them financially. So sometimes dishonest people enter politics and can influence decision-making. So in my opinion, this is not good.
אז לפעמים אנשים לא ישרים יכולים להיכנס לפוליטיקה ולהשפיע על קבלת ההחלטות. אז לפי דעתי זה דבר לא טוב.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the interview. Okay.
Thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Video by the production.
This entire interview was produced for Michael List Productions.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the...
Thank you very much for your attention and have a nice day. If you liked it, like the video and feel free to check out more videos at Michaelis Productions. Thank you again for watching.